is going on? Bardown Breakdown. We are hanging with another Long Island band. Once again, you thought we couldn't do it. We did it. They might have left Long Island and went to Brooklyn, but they're still Long Island boys at heart. We're hanging with Adam Guzman. We got Adam, Robbie, and Michael. What's going on, guys?
Nothing. Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful evening out here in Brooklyn. Beautiful evening.
That's right. Knicks just won. The boys are hanging. This is
Blue orange.
Hell yeah. I'm sure it's wild back home. You know, I remember the Patrick Ewing years. Like, we were little kids when they had those teams, and they like went pretty far with Patrick Ewing. And I remember like how jacked up Long Island was about that. But then, like, that was it. Maybe, like, what was his name? Latrell Sprewell? Like, maybe a little bit of that, but truly pretty dark years when we were kids.
But then Insanity came, and we were all back on board. Sanity, and we were all right back in it.
That is true.
Did they even, like, make the playoffs that year when they had him?
They did, but then he was injured and didn't play a single game in the playoffs, and he had, like, a knee injury, and there was, like, all this, like, drama why he didn't play, and then he got a contract. It was a nightmare. It was dark times, but hey. We got Jalen Brunson. That's all that matters.
I will say I don't think I've ever told Mikey this, but I do got a good Patrick Ewing story. It's not very long. We got a lot of Knicks fans on here. So it was probably like 2018, 2019. I went to we went to DC for my buddy's bachelor party. He just wanted to go to DC. So we literally did this entire weekend in DC. And the night before, we were at this bar, and Georgetown was playing, and it was a whole like huge just Georgetown crowd in there. Patrick Ewing was the head coach of Georgetown, and they ended up winning. And then cut to the next day, I'm hungover at Reagan International, and I'm at the urinal just pissing, and I just have this shadow over me, and I like look over with like literally like my dick in my hand, and there's this Patrick Ewing. And I like crazy. Go back over here, and I was just like, "Great game last night, coach." Finished my business and walked out. Because he was flying out to go play some other team. The whole Georgetown team was there, but it was such a funny situation. I was like, I know I'm gonna have a Knicks fan on here at some point to tell this story to.
That's amazing, and also I do love the idea of calling a coach, even if you don't play. It's like, yeah, way to go, coach. Way to go, coach. I do love that. I would 100%.
Like he respected that. Like it meant something to him.
He probably didn't even know he didn't even listen to me. He was just sitting there, just like
he literally couldn't hear you from all the way up there.
Yeah, the sound of his urine hit his ears before my voice did. Like,
can we just talk about this? Because Justin's like, how tall are you? 6'3"?
6'1".
6'1". So Justin's not small. But could you imagine if the tables were turned and I was standing next to Patrick Ewing next to a urinal? Like, I would literally feel like a little child next to him.
He's
10
that's
inches
taller
than
than
dude. I'm like 5'7".
Like, on a good day, I'm like 5'7".
We're all 5'5".
Yeah.
We're all 5'5" at heart.
So who's the coolest person you've ever peed next to?
Ooh, actually, I pee next to Danny McBride at
Hell yeah.
That's a really good one.
That's a flex, dude.
We had like a cool, like just like a little like head nod moment, like coming, like crossing paths. It was sick.
What era, Danny McBride?
This was like Eastbound and Down, like 2012. 2012, I want to say. It's so random. It's like, especially when you're in a public bathroom and you like don't expect it. Just, we're all just human. We're all here together.
Yeah, mine was Butch Goring. Like, that was really, yeah. So remember, I don't know how many games you caught at the Barclays Center, but there was like this weird suite area, but then also fed into like the public area, and then also was close to where the broadcaster booth was. So I was at a game. I'm not trying to flex right now, but like John Ledecky invited me and some friends out to a game, and we were in a box, but there were no bathrooms in the box. So like you still had to go to the common area, and like so did the broadcasters. Like, so like we all shared a bathroom, and then like was just there, and then Butch Goring went right next to me, and that was pretty weird. Not gonna lie.
Did you say anything,
Michael? No, it was just like, I've actually met Butch Goring before, like at a tailgate and whatnot. And I was like, now's not the time to say hi again. Like this is
Hey, dude,
Butchie,
you
what up?
need a bingo card of just Stanley Cup players that you've just ran into, and then in the middle of that bingo card is just fucking Ralph Macchio.
I did
Oh,
meet
hell
Ralph
yeah.
Macchio. That was pretty sweet.
Because he's
Kid,
met
baby.
Ralph Macchio too.
That's
What about
pretty-
you guys? You guys pee next to anyone cool?
Never peed.
Never have I ever.
Oh, dumped? You dumped next to someone cool?
No, I've had a few like run-ins with fame or greatness, but never peeing. Paul McCartney walked by me once.
Yo,
That's
Crazy.
with his dick out?
No, I was like at the.
that's the dick of a beetle.
Yeah, he was by himself. I was waiting. I was like by the MoMA. I was waiting for my mom and uncle to grab like lunch before going to the museum. And I'm standing there, and he just like is walking right at me. He's got his aviators on, a scarf, his hair perfect, no one around him. Only time in my life I've ever been like starstruck. I just like this, like just walks right by me into like the most stunning townhouse you've ever seen in your life. And I just couldn't believe it. That's brush with greatness. But
That's
no,
dope.
I didn't pee next to him.
Nah.
Would have been a crime, I think.
The only time I've ever had that situation, like your Paul McCartney, I was at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I have a child on my back, half asleep, and I'm walking down, and there's nobody in the park. Like literally, like this is the one time there's like literally nobody there, and I'm walking down like their Sunset Boulevard, and I see a hockey jersey, and I go, "Oh, this guy has a hockey jersey on." Like, and I'm like, I don't recognize the team. I thought it was the black and red Sabres jersey, because that's what the color it was. And I was like, I've seen that logo before. Who the fuck is that? And I look up, and it's Kevin Smith.
Oh shit.
And
Whoa.
we make eye contact, and I didn't say anything, but we passed, and he knew that I knew who he was, and he kind of just gave me the head nod, like, I got you. And he just kept walking. And that was the only time I've ever had a conversation with him. And then I find out that my partner went to school with his niece, and she would brag about him all the fucking time. I was like, you should have been like, yo, I know your kin.
Well, me and
'Cause,
Robbie
like-
got you beat because we went to high school with ODB's daughter. Did
Yeah,
you even know that?
see?
Whoa.
I know who ODB is.
Yeah, but he also has like 72 daughters, so it doesn't
He's
make
like
it
the
that
Genghis
cool.
Kong of
Yeah.
like hip hop.
Does that mean that our band's like Wu-Tang affiliated somehow? You know how there's like all those
One
like,
could say.
you know, there's like those like 9,000 members of the Wu-Tang clan that are like somewhat like, well, Robbie went to school with ODB's daughter, so.
It's like,
and Dora the Explorer.
True. Yeah, we got some fame in Deer Park. Yeah.
We got some fame.
5 degrees from ODB.
And now we got Moose Creek Park. Moose Creek Park one day will just take us Deer Parkers to the moon.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Actually, I listened to that episode and I checked them out. I'm like so stoked that Deer Park is still, producing some good music. Love
They
to see
sure
it.
are. Now, I just want to talk about your Spotify bio. Let's get to some music because I feel like whoever came up with that is just perfect. Like it really can pinpoint exactly what you guys sound like. Like I'll just read it.
It's very niche.
It's very niche and specific and just like on the nose. So rock songs for people who cry in the Whole Foods parking lot, Brooklyn/Long Island, New York. Like on the nose, man. Like that is exactly what you guys sound like.
That's all Robbie.
I'm glad that it resonated. We were trying to figure this out for a while and just like throwing like everything out there. I don't know, like in this modern world of music, I feel like you have to be, I don't know, try to be presentable on social media and like have something that's like interesting like immediately. And yeah, I don't even remember how it came up, but you live super close to a Whole Foods. I don't know, Whole Foods like feels like a very like millennial thing. And it's probably something that we've all experienced independently of ourselves.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, and I was like teaching like 2 months ago, and a kid just raised his hand. He's like, "So do you cry in Whole Foods parking lots?" I was like, "Bro, what?" I was like, "Dude, come on, man."
So do you think he's like listening to your tunes on
Oh,
Spotify?
They
Absolutely.
always find, because it's not like it's under my name, so they Google you. They're middle school kids, like every year. It's like, and the way they introduce it is always like, different. So like I had like one kid just raise his hand. He's like, "So why do you run?" I was like, "Dude," you know? I was like, "At least it's creative."
So my kid is in high school right now, and one of a Bardown alumni band, the bass player is now the stats teacher at her high school. They all have a group chat where they all talk shit about all these bands in the local scene now, because he's doing stats and they're cooking. They have a culinary teacher. The culinary teacher was in another like metalcore band in the Orlando area. And the group chat is just called Coworker Music. And they just rip on all of these bands.
That's sick.
And she was like, "Hey, Justin, do you know this band?" And she starts playing it. And I'm like, "Why does that sound so familiar?" And she's like, "Wait a minute, I got another one for you." And she hits the next one. And I go, "Why are you listening to them? How do you know them?" And she's like, "It's my stats teacher." I was like, "Get the fuck out. Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "Why do you know this?" And she's like, "We got a group chat called Coworker Music." And I just died. I texted everybody. I was like, "Ah!"
So funny.
I called Mikey first, and I just started calling everybody. Like, this is what they're doing.
That's
incredible. So now I'm afraid, like, for like any of my projects to end up like in Coworker Music chat, or maybe that means I made it with Gen Z. I don't know. They're all assholes.
No matter what you do, like, no matter if you like think you're cool, your students will quickly remind you that you are not cool at all. Like, and they will remind you about how old you are. And I'm like, I don't feel that old. Like, I'm only 39. Like, I'm not like dying soon. Like, I'm not that old, but they will treat you like you are.
Oh yeah. I feel like anytime we have band practice, because we're often practicing on a weekday after you've had your work. Like Adam always has some anecdote of getting cooked by.
Dude, I get called Mr. Unk. That's
Yeah.
Mr. Unk. That's crazy. I'm like, I'm not that old, man.
But I was talking to Mikey about this earlier. I saw a TikTok that was like, "Oh, if Full House was filmed today, Uncle Jesse would have been born in 2001." So I'm just saying,
It's brutal.
That's
brutal.
Uncle Jesse was 23 years old. You can't shit on that, right? He was 23 years old in Full House.
In my head, he was like, yeah, at least 40s.
At least 40.
He was 23 playing with the Beach Boys?
Yes.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
And he still plays for the Beach Boys.
Oh, I know. I saw them at the Brooklyn, at Coney Island, like 9 years ago. It was like the Beach Boys on 4th of July, and they're like, "And here's John Stamos." I was like, Where
he's the most famous person in the Beach
Boys. Unreal. Yeah, we're just getting old. Because I was talking to Justin about how what's his name from Dumb and Dumber, Jeff Daniels, is like in his 70s, and I made the mistake of looking that up, and I was just like, oh, that really hurts. Like, Dumb and Dumber doesn't feel like one of the leads should be 70 years old or 71 years old. Like, that sucked.
They're gonna be looking at Jim Carrey like he's Charlie Chaplin at some point or whatever.
Can you imagine that? They're just doing like artistic like studies of cinema, and they're just doing 1994 we had The Mask and Batman Forever and Ace Ventura come out in the same year. There's like, this was the year of cinematic history.
Yeah.
Famously.
Is that like historically accurate? Like, all of those movies came out in the same year?
I think so.
He had like a run where it was like The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, and Ace Ventura were all like, I think either within a year or like they were like all back
1994. Yeah.
Wild.
What a ledge.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to find out Batman.
I feel like it was 96.
95. Shit.
Okay.
Had an off year.
What a movie.
That was the peak Batman for me.
Just the George Clooney. Once they put nipples on the costume, it was over.
Like, how do you know that shit, man?
Dude, you couldn't.
It's
how do you
visceral.
pull away from it? It's just there. As a 9-year-old child, you're just like, does he have nipples? Like, is the Joker gonna purple nurple Batman through his costume? Like, he already has an American Express black card.
Oh my god! I remember.
Who's running Batman's social security number for that credit check? Like, are you kidding me?
All right, we're already off the rails. I love it. But
immediately off the rails. We went
if
straight
Tom
into
was here, it would be
basketball.
worse.
We'll rein it in. We'll rein it in. So I guess let's just talk a little Long Island music real quick. What was your first show? And we'll go one at a time. Like, what was your first Long Island show that got you like hooked to this shit? Robbie, you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. Well, this should resonate with you. The first show that I truly remember, like a local show, the Buddy System at the Downtown, and that was like, yeah, just life changing for me. It was like, yeah, I want to be a part of this.
Hey man, yeah.
Shout
out
but
to Buddy
the more
System.
embarrassing answer, like first show actually was the Goo Goo Dolls at like Roseland Ballroom because my parents dragged me. Which in retrospect was
still
sick,
so
but like
sick.
at the time as like a 14-year-old or whatever, I was like, I don't want to be here with my parents. This is weird.
That's Buffalo too. That's full circle. That's a Buffalo band.
True.
That was. Oh, I thought you were in Buffalo watching them. I'm like, yo, hometown Goo Goo Dolls set. Like, yo, dude.
My first ever show, my like embarrassing one, was at Jones Beach, and I saw Hanson.
Also,
I fell asleep during it. But my first like show I went to, which is like a little bit later, was at the Crazy Donkey. And it was Envy on the Coast, Pistolita, and Saves the Day. When Sound the Alarm came out. And that was like
nice.
my sister used to go to the Downtown all the time, and I like wasn't allowed. Like I'm 33. Like I grew up in Plain Edge too, which is like pretty close to there, but I never got to go to the Downtown. So I went to that show, and I remember I called in sick from school the next day. It had like blown my mind so much. And also like Envy on the Coast specifically because like they were from there was no real scene where I was at. So like I didn't know there were bands still playing. So that was like the first local band where I was like, oh wow, and they only had like the EP out or whatever at the time. But yeah, that was my like first one. I was like, whoa.
That was a heater.
Yeah, it was just awesome. Yeah.
Shout out Envy on the Coast. That's the reason why this podcast exists. So love those boys. There you go. Full circle. And then what about you, Michael?
First show was it was similar to Adam. Like live music was kind of gate kept from my life, like by my parents, and so I had to lie and say that I was sleeping over my friend Ralph Dalton's house. And we ended up, he had an older sister. So the three of us went to Taking Back Sunday at Stony Brook University with Jimmy Eat World and The Format. And it was the first actual show that I had ever been to in my life. First, like, observation of live music was a backyard show of this band called Sleep Balmsano. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. My older cousin like knew members of the band, and honestly, like hearing live music as an 11-year-old for the first time, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, and I want to do this. And I still think one of the dudes in that band is like the coolest guy ever. So
facts.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, my first like DIY centric show, even though like when I say this name, you're gonna be like, that's not DIY, but it was literally at the Downtown, was Something Corporate. So like seeing Something Corporate at the Downtown, still like one of the coolest things I ever got to experience. But my first like top 40 concert is the most random shit ever. Like listen to this lineup. So it was Outkast, Incubus, and Nelly Furtado. Like that was the tour package. Like how freaking crazy is that?
Hell yeah.
Can I say something kind of crazy, not to interject, about that show in particular? So not the Outkast show, the Something Corporate show at the Downtown. So that's one of the shows I'm like really jealous that I never got to go to. And I had a friend in high school named Ryan Tierney who was friends with Andrew McMahon. And so, or no, he wasn't friends. His older brother was friends with Andrew McMahon. And after that show, they crashed at his house in Plain Edge. Like they slept at my friend Ryan Tierney's house, and we were like really young. And he was like, yeah, like Andrew McMahon was just like at my house. It was crazy.
Yeah, so it was them in the Rocket Summer. And then recently, Andrew McMahon did that cruise. Like, the guy is big enough that he legit does his own cruise now. And he invited Bryce Avery and the Rocket Summer back out, like, full circle moment. I was like, that is so cool because, like, Andrew McMahon obviously went on to be huge. And, like, Bryce Avery's still doing it, but he's not, like, something corporate or Jack's Mannequin level. Like, it was cool that he still was like, yeah, you know, we toured back in the day. Why don't you come on this? It was really nice to see.
So sick.
And you see like My Chemical Romance doing that now, right? Like they're playing MetLife, and who do they ask to open? They ask Thursday. It's like, damn, that's a band that gets it.
Yeah.
That's
Pay it back.
Absolutely. So yeah, speaking of shows, one of my favorite things to do is to talk about like how the Long Island scene is still like thriving right now. And with AMH doing these renovations and like the shit that they're doing at Sand City and the Massapequa VFW, like how are you guys feeling about the scene on Long Island? You know, being people who are now in their mid to late 30s who have experienced it at all stages, like at the peak, then to like sometimes where it was a little iffy, and now it seems like it's back a little bit. So how are you guys feeling about the scene?
I mean, it's great. Like John Argandiza, Golden Hour is just like they put on such amazing shows, and they're so like anytime we play a Long Island, and we've been lucky enough to play with some like really great bands and like meet them, and it's always like really just inspiring that like it's still going and thriving, and the venues that pop up are always really cool and interesting. We got to play Sand City recently, a couple months back, and it's just like the fact that that exists is amazing, and also feels like it bridges a gap between like the newer bands, younger bands, and people around our age too, where it's like both can exist in that kind of space, which is amazing. And you know, we played with like Gursday recently, who are like a newer band there, and they're awesome. And yeah, I think it's really exciting. It's really great, and it inspires you to want to like keep going. And especially like we're in Brooklyn now, most of us. I mean, our bass player Mike Akampora, who's also sort of like the George Martin, you know, Mike Mogus kind of behind the scene. Like he's our bass player, but also like when we're writing, like I'll bring something, and like he's still out on Long Island, but like we're in Brooklyn, so whenever we get to go back and be a part of it, it always feels really exciting.
Yeah, and just to like piggyback off of that, like it kind of makes you proud because like I felt so grateful to have like found people that led me into that scene when I was like in middle school. You know, like Tom Vicario was like, I don't know, he was like my music guru. He like showed me the way and like led me into like my first band and like introduced me to everything. And like, you know, they were like all like backyard shows and the local 7 and like random spots that we were playing. It just felt like I was part of something so much bigger, and like I recognized how lucky I was to have that experience, because like not everyone gets that. And yeah, I don't know, I kind of like tapped out for a while, so I wasn't really too sure of what the scene was like on Long Island, but there's even this like, I don't know, like younger generation putting on shows with Ballpark Booking. We had like not really a hiatus, but we hadn't played in a couple of years, and we had our first show back like almost a year ago at Lithology in Farmingdale, and it was like put together by you know, by Basha, who runs Ballpark, and it was so like, I don't know, I feel like it like filled my heart just like seeing. It was really sweet that they invited us, because like we were clearly like the older dudes there, but like I don't know, just being immersed in this like talent and just like seeing that the scene is thriving and it's still growing, it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah,
I felt a little out of my depth at that show, but like it was really energizing to like see like a fresh perspective. Like I think like being out of it for so long and then coming back, and there's like a whole bunch of we were the older people on that bill, but like it was just such a nice like fruitful experience to just like see a re-energized like take on Long Island music.
Yeah, Long Island is thriving.
Yeah, seriously. And then like where you guys are, it's kind of the best of both worlds, because then you can also tap into the Brooklyn market where Long Island bands kind of have a hard time doing that, right? Like it's not always been so easy for them to play Brooklyn. So to have that, best of both worlds and being able to also play Brooklyn and the Queens area. So I guess you guys got a nice little sweet spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, we try. I think we also still like have difficulty like sort of breaking in there as well. Like we've kind of thrown our own show. Like we threw a show. When was that? February or Like I'm
It was like January.
January. Like we've been putting on our own show, but it's like still difficult for us to. But it is fun to be able to do both. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also just like being older. It's harder to just go to shows, and like I think we all came out to Brooklyn like a little bit later in life, so you're kind of like interjecting yourself into a scene, and like you have to show up and like be a part of it and like connect with people, and I think it's just like it's a slower process when you're like older, and you have like work and just other life responsibilities that you didn't have when you were a teenager.
Yeah, like thinking about that, because it is more than just like playing shows, right? Because opportunities come through connections, right? And like when you're in your mid to late 30s, how are you making those connections if you're not able to go to shows like a couple of times a week, right? So it is, now that you bring that up, like, yeah, that is a challenge for still doing music in your, golden years.
Yeah, but like even if like it's hard to break into the scenes in that way. Like I think the actual work that we've been doing in terms of like writing and the music that we're doing is like super fulfilling, in that way, which is like the most exciting thing. It's like making a record you're really proud of, like we've been writing recently, and it's like that, if you keep, at least I think like my thought process is like if we keep putting out things that we're like really proud of, like the rest will sort of come with that too.
It's just really cathartic, really, like just to be able to be this like our age and just being able to still write, produce, and still put out music, because it's funny. Like I was just at a marching band banquet, and they are like just like, for our seniors that are leaving the high school, please like continue to play and join marching bands and keep going with your instrument. And I'm just like, I'm still fucking playing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm like a inspiration or a study, but either way, like it's just really fun just being able to get together with just friends and just make something. Like no matter what it is, it's just really fun just to like put your instrument and just strum a couple chords.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I think that like that's ultimately what it comes down to us. Like we played in a band together like in our 20s, and then all kind of like went in different life directions for a little bit. And like Adam, to your credit, Adam made his first album, and that like inevitably kind of pulled us back together into like playing music together, getting in the same room, and like that's like kind of the best part, just like getting to show up to practice and spend time together, and the magic of writing together and then getting to follow that journey, see where it takes us. We put out this album like almost a year ago, and then getting to play shows, like getting to share that with people it's so cool to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Keeps the friendship alive.
Yeah.
About 6 or 7 episodes ago, we had this band from Binghamton, Jet Black Maps, and one of the members used to be an Autopilot Off. So like household name, right? Like,
wow.
Yeah, like a huge band. And the dude is like in his 50s now when he started this band. And it's like so cool to see that like, yeah, there's no limit on when you can still create music with your friends. And seeing that and having that conversation with them was just like, yeah, like when we were younger, and I was never even in a band, but like all my friends were, like it felt like you had to compete and you had to like really put yourself out there to get on the next show, to get on the next tour. And then it's like when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, like none of that shit matters anymore. And you can just like, wait, no, I just want to play like music with my friends. And like, yeah, my friends asked me to play a show with them. Like, yeah, I'm going to do that because they're my friends. And so like, a night out now, and it's something cool to do other than like sitting home watching Netflix or whatever. So it's cool to, and freeing, right, to be able to do that after like your prime or whatever. Because I would imagine all of you realize like, yeah, like if a cool opportunity comes up, we're going to take it, but we're also not like striving to play like the next Warped Tour or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, like I definitely, so like I've never gotten to play out of state. That's something like I've always wanted to do, and like I still hope to do that someday. But also like, yeah, you got to be realistic about certain things as well. And I think like, yeah, we're all pretty busy, but I think still us like making the time to be creative and put that out is like the important thing.
Yeah. And then like when we do play shows, I find it's like very energizing. It like, I don't know, it brings in this new sense of fulfillment that like, oh, like I forgot that I needed this, or like, not that you need it, but it's a great experience to have. And like, we're lucky to still be able to do that and just like reconnect with friends. Yeah. Like playing the VFW and just like reconnecting with people on Long Island and meeting new people too. Just like, it's always like very energizing in a way that like, I feel like it's easy to forget. And then you have these experiences and it's like, oh yeah, this is what it's about. You know?
Now, hopefully they're not like smoking darts in that VFW, because every experience I had at a VFW on Long Island is just like smoke-filled rooms, and just like I worked at this Italian restaurant on Long Island. We would have to cater to the VFWs and to the Knights of Columbus, and I hated working those because like for days I couldn't get that smoke smell off. So are they like that still?
The back room,
Yeah.
If you go to the bar, they're still ripping darts back there. We'll
Cash bar only. It's a beautiful thing.
What a place. What a place.
It's definitely like a time capsule walking in there. It's awesome.
Yeah, and down here they have the Knights of Columbus, but they don't have actual buildings, which like blew my mind. I just figured that's kind of like, that's all I knew, is that Knights of Columbus has like an actual bar, catering hall, like the whole thing. And down here that doesn't exist. So it seems like a very niche specific thing.
Huh.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Long Island's built different.
Weird place for sure. So yeah, let's talk the recording process. You know, you guys said you dropped your album about a year ago. Did you do a lot of the production yourself? Did you go anywhere on Long Island to do it? Walk me through that.
So, we recorded at our bass player Mike Akampora's house in what town?
East Northport.
East Northport, yeah. So he has a studio that he runs out of his basement. We had been, so essentially like I had taken some time off of writing and I wrote this batch of songs. Like the first record I did was like, basically I wrote it by myself, and then our friend Bo Sonberg played drums, Mike played bass, and Bradley Cordero from Sainthood Reps recorded the first record. And then I took some time off, and when I had this new batch of songs, I really wanted to be more collaborative. So I got Mike involved, and Mike Akampora and Robbie. And so we were having practices and sort of writing. Then we did a like long weekend in Saugerties at like a kind of like the cliche cabin type of thing, where we kind of like we kind of did some rough demos there, and then recorded it out of Mike's basement over the course of like 7 months, about 8 months. So he recorded and mixed it, and then we got it mastered. Oh my god, I'm blank.
Emily
Lazar mastered the record because she had done a bunch of our favorite records. So we were kind of like, if we're gonna really go and do this, like let's make it sound as good as we can. Like that was the goal, is like put everything into this that we possibly can to like make one thoughtful, cohesive record.
Now, was this like the first time that you got to like actually, whether you were in another project or, you know, earlier on, like actually have it like professionally mastered and like actually get the songs to be like, because a lot of bands on Long Island kind of like just know people and they like have friends that can do it. But like, was this the first time that you actually had some piece of art that like from start to finish was like polished?
We've like,
For
I guess
me,
with Sojourner, this was like our old band. We had sent it off to someone for mastering, and he did a great job. I think it was like Sundown Studios or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think this is the first time that like we like really went out our way to like find a mastering engineer that we were like truly a fan of, and like love the albums that she has worked on. So yeah, it felt like a big like extra step or like extra investment in ourselves.
Yeah.
And I guess I was kind of only asking because I was like, all right, how can I bring up Antigone's Revenge and see if Robbie would ever consider getting back with Tom and like remastering and re-recording that?
How are you pointing? Yeah, those connections are that's a stretch. I love the idea though. No, it's funny. I've like in the back of my head, I have always thought it would be so sick to just like completely re-record that first Antigone's Revenge album. I was like, I don't know, I must have been like 13 or 14 when we recorded that. Actually, that bass is the same bass that I use to record that, and I could tell you the intonation was not right at the time. Because listening back to some of that stuff, I'm like, oh geez, that was like not great. So I'd love to redo all of that.
Right? Like, just imagine like how much better of a musician you are. Tom is like, I'm not sure if it was Nick, right?
Yeah. Which you were in Nick's graduating class, or was he like a year older than you? Like,
I was in Tom's graduating class, so I'm not sure. I don't think Nick was in our class. He might have.
I didn't really know his connection, but I know like this was like one of Tom's buddies, and he had a computer with recording software on it, and he like straight up he brought his like entire PC, like it wasn't a laptop. He brought like a PC with like a monitor and like all this stuff into my parents' basement to track drums. And like at the time I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like we're recording an album. I'm doing it, and it's still awesome. It's like still something to be proud of. But yeah, it's funny how your perception changes through life experience. Yeah,
what a time. Yeah, I joke with Tom about that weird window when you guys had like a 40-year-old guy that was in your band. You guys were like a bunch of high schoolers, and there was just like a 40-year-old in your band at one point.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name, but huge Knicks fan. Probably the first Knicks fan in my life. I'm pretty sure we played a show and he was he was wearing like just a Knicks jersey, and famously he was like vegan, and I don't think he was really into deodorant, and it was a whole he had an aura for sure.
I've never heard of this person. I see him in my head. I can tell exactly what it's like.
He smells oddly of jojoba oil.
But like, let's think back. We're all like almost 40. Could you imagine being in a high school band with like a bunch of high schoolers? Like, that's just so crazy to think now.
Yeah. I hope he wasn't that old. I don't know how old he was. Definitely significantly older than I was at the time.
Like, he was definitely drinking at shows legally.
Yeah. I had a couple of years to go.
Oh my God. Show up with like a 6-pack of Modelo's to the function.
It's like, sir, this is prom. Please come.
Sir, this is United Skates of America talent. You can put your beers by the glow sticks in the claw machine.
That place isn't still around, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is. I grew up like across the street from it. Yeah. It's still there.
Crap.
It's still there. Right next to Patty's Loft. Shout out.
Shouts.
Dude, that gives me hope in our youth that place is still around.
Dude, Bardown Breakdown should put on like a festival at was it American Skate?
United
Skates.
United Skates of America. Take your hat off.
I'm sorry, man.
Don't.
I should know.
We've done 3 years of festivals. I think we've done 5 total. So,
and Long Island's always been on the bucket list.
Long Island has always been on the bucket list for Mikey. We were so close.
Let's go.
So when I tell you we had AMH booked for the last year we did it, which was 2 years ago, we had AMH ready to go, and then some legacy band came in, like an Eddie Reyes legacy band came in, and was just like, we're doing a reunion. It's been 30 years since we played. We're doing it at AMH this weekend. So we're like,
and it can only be this day.
It can only be this day. So we're like, okay, we'll just move it to Massapequa with VFW. And they're like, no, we would never compete with this show. We're just like, okay, like,
damn.
I guess we're not doing it on Long Island.
Yeah, we had a lineup.
Well, you were waiting for.
We had lineup, everything ready to go.
That's brutal. No respect.
No respect. We need Rodney Dangerfield out here.
Well, we got to make it happen.
Yeah.
United States of
Shout
America.
out another Deer Park alum.
Yeah,
he did live in Deer Park. Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow,
it's a fact.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Just brimming with talent.
His bulging eyes.
It was the You Need a Rest. You Need a Rest just brought out everyone. Did you ever go in You Need a Rest?
I've always wanted to.
Dude,
It doesn't exist anymore, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Go where?
You Need a I think it might be like the only bar in Deer Park, or like at least when we were growing up, there were like no bars in Deer Park. But
No.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. I guess like the older dudes who weren't part of the VFW would drink and smoke darts.
The non-veterans.
The civilians.
It's just wild to think that I actually went in there as a 15-year-old and was served a beer. Like, how crazy is that?
Wow. Wait, like, how did that happen? Like, how did you find yourself walking in there? Like, I thought that place was so scary.
It was so scary. But my friends who were a couple of years older would go there because they would serve them. And they were like, yo, they serve me. Like, they'll definitely serve you. And I was just like, all right, let's go. And then, like, realistically, we didn't look 21, obviously. And the fact that there was like 4 of us who were clearly high school kids drinking in You Need a Rest, just the dumbest thing ever. Like, the dumbest thing for all parties involved. But the place was literally, the letter U, Justin, Nita. And this is all one word. Like, You Need a Rest, one word.
It's like, I never heard that bar, but that reminds me. Do you remember You Need a Biscuits? Growing up, no,
Nah.
They're like a cracker that was discontinued. That was like my favorite snack. Whatever. I was like, oh man, this will be relatable. Discontinued cracker.
My favorite cracker growing up.
You need a cracker.
You Need a Biscuit.
You need a
They were
biscuit.
Nabisco. They were Nabisco. They were in the square box.
I gotta look this up.
God.
Yeah, we got to look that up for sure.
Listen. Throw a little. Never mind.
That'll be good for that'll be a good Instagram clip. We'll put it up.
You Need a Biscuits? Yeah, that'll get the numbers juiced.
This is exactly how we found out about John Tavares' signature cereal.
He has a signature cereal?
He had a signature cereal.
Wow.
RIP. What happened?
It's
It was
called
awful.
Recipe 91. And if you know anything about John Tavares, you already know what kind of cereal it is. It is
Bran.
yes.
Bran flakes,
It's Bran flakes. Like,
maple syrup, and blueberries.
how on brand is that? Like, if it was like,
crazy.
yeah, John Tavares, we're making a cereal. It's gonna have 0 sugar and no fun. It's gonna be
It's so
No
apt.
fun.
Wow.
yeah. We actually had Harold from Koyo on, and we were talking about that, and they were about to play Toronto, and he like
He bought a box.
he bought a box on eBay for like
$22.
Like, yeah, a lot of money for a stupid box of cereal. And he was gonna had this whole plan, rip it up in like Toronto on stage, and
Light
then
it on fire.
he forgot
In an
to put
Islanders
it in
jersey.
Yeah.
Yes.
He forgot to take it.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
He literally messaged the band, like the podcast page. He goes, "Dude, I forgot the box." He's like, "I spent $22 on a box of cereal and forgot to take it for the one prank I was gonna do all tour. He forgot it.
They would have been the
Brutal.
most hated band in Toronto.
They'll be fine.
Whatever happened to this box? Did he eat it? Do you ever find out?
It was like definitely expired because they don't even make it anymore. Like I think someone thought it was maybe a collectible. Like someone wanted it for that purpose. I would not recommend eating that. But
was it like fresh off the contract or whatever? Like how recent is this box of cereal?
So it's not an American cereal. So it's him in his Maple Leafs jersey. So it's like a Canadian cereal.
Okay.
2018, 2017.
Yeah. So like probably after he got booed off of Long Island, they're like, all right, poor guy needs some cereal. He needs
Nobody needs John Tavares cereal. Get out of here.
Is he still skating around?
Yeah, he is.
Look, actually, it doesn't sound that bad. Actually, it's not bran. It's toasted oat granola, dried blueberries, coconut flakes, and dark chocolate chips. I would probably put that in a yogurt and eat it.
I mean, that
sounds pretty good, and it has like a little bit of maple syrup on it for the maple.
This sort of flips.
They're giving him too much credit. They're giving him way too much credit.
Oh, is that the box?
Yeah. Recipe 91.
Why is it so wide? What a wide box.
It is like it's square.
It's like a Bruce Springsteen box set.
But instead of talking about working at the docks and freedom, they're talking about a team that can't make the playoffs.
I'll never forget though. My absolute favorite picture of John Tavares is like, I think it was either Brock Nelson's wedding or one of their like weddings, and all the boys are like shotgunning beers, and John Tavares is just like sitting on the couch, like as everyone is like shotgunning beers around him, and he's just having no fun. It's just
he just has a soda water, no flavor soda water.
It was like a young, fresh Beauvillier as well. Like I don't even think he was of age, and he was ripping one as well. It was great.
Classic Beauvillier.
Classic. Well, we all know how he shut down the Collies, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but. Anyway, so let's talk about like playing out of state. Like, I feel like that's a very manageable and realistic goal. So, like, what are you guys doing to pursue that? Are you guys trying to do like a Jersey, Connecticut, kind of that pocket? Because that's one of the perks of being in the Northeast is there really are very manageable places out of state to play.
Yeah, I think we had talked about it a couple months ago, but just due to like various sort of like life kind of circumstances, things have slowed down a bit, and the focus has turned more to writing whatever the next sort of project is. We have like a lot. It's been sort of like, I think we've been saying it's like been a very like fertile time in terms of like the writing and like writing some stuff that is a little bit different, not different, totally different direction. But like, I think the goal is, once we kind of figure out what that is and get that ball rolling, and then that'll be like the next step.
Yeah. I feel it's unfortunate. Like we released this album that I think we're all like very, very proud of, and just had like a lot going on in life. Like Mike's wife had just like moved to New York from England. I was like about to get married in September. Our bassist Mike just had his first child in the last year. So it was kind of like, and with your like being a teacher, working with that
I became the chapter leader at my school, so that's been like taking up like a lot of time too. So yeah, it sort of like was this like confluence of like there's so much happening at once that it's like we got to get back in the rhythm and like start getting the ball rolling again. And then I think it is realistic. It's just something that like just on how things have shaken out, just had never or have fallen through and just have never happened. So goal manageable, hopefully.
Yeah. And like speaking about playing shows, like the nice thing about the last year playing shows, like we have met a lot of like really cool people, like been introduced, shared the stage with some really cool bands, some from like out of state. So I feel like that was kind of like the first step of just like connecting and like playing music, like meeting new people, and like now kind of like building a network that we can reach out to and hopefully build something in the future, get out there.
Amen. Justin, I know you want to chime in, because Justin, until recently, was still touring in his 30s, like, and not just like local in Florida. Like he was going up to
Connecticut.
What's the furthest? Yeah, like the furthest north was Connecticut from Florida.
No, furthest north was Boston.
Okay, So
yeah,
Justin, how do you coin it?
We call it PTO with the boys.
So yes.
So you just take your paid time off. You just take a couple days. We normally kept it under 10 days. And because it usually takes like a day to drive out of Florida anyway. But we kept it under 10 days and work paid us for it. And we would just go and rip a show and drink a couple beers with our friends. And then we would go to the next city and we would do the same thing. And it was like vacation, but we were playing music. We were making a little bit of money just to put in the gas tank. And we would go and we would try all the cool little restaurants like next to the venues. That was our most favorite thing. So like we would just be like, let's go try this coffee shop. Let's go try this place. Or this is like the barbecue place we saw on Netflix. We're going to go try that place in this town. And it was literally just 6 of us in a van driving around, just doing stuff during the day, like mini golf. And then at night we would rip a gig. We would go to the hotel or some friend's place to sleep on their couch. And then we would wake up the next day and do it all over again. And it was a lot of fun when it was fun. And then people just got their feelings involved, and then it became not fun.
Sorry to hear that, but
it happens. But you know what? Mini golf is so much fun when you're just trying to hit a hole in one and nobody hits a hole in one. It's literally, it's just like, I'm going to show you how to hit a hole in one, and you just biff the shit out of it.
No, dude, this whole concept is kind of blowing my mind. I feel like we have to put something together next year and like do like a PTO with the boys tour.
PTO with the boys is so
I like
fun.
the ring of it.
It's literally like I've been saying that for I don't know how long, and then somebody came on the podcast and they were like PTO with the boys, and I was like, yo, because it's just such a fun concept to think about. Like, it's not tour, you're just hanging out with your buddies and you're just playing music every night.
Exactly.
Sounds amazing. Yeah.
And it's a cheat code because like back in the day, if you went on tour, like you actually really needed the money. Like you needed the money to eat. But like now when you're in your 30s, like, do you really need the $75 that you're going to make playing a local gig? Probably not. Like you guys are probably in a pretty decent financial situation where you could be like, yeah, let's like just play the show and then go out to dinner after and like actually eat real food and then sleep in an actual hotel bed. Like it's the move, right? Like
sounds amazing.
Touring with luxury when you're in 30s.
And you have the money to buy like the good beer.
I think we're setting 2027 goals right now.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. If not, this hantavirus is gonna take us all out.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
Not great.
Not good. Not good. Don't care for it.
No.
I'm definitely getting on this cruise no matter what. I don't give a shit. I'm going.
You got a cruise coming up?
Yeah, dude. We've been like literally booked this 2 years in advance. Like we're freaking going. Like I don't care. I'll hazmat suit it. I'm going.
The Mickey Mouse cruise.
Oh
no, not this one. This one that one is also 2 years in advance. Like we kind of just keep booking them. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I've been saving and paying for this one, so freaking going.
Doing it.
I'm
hopeful this thing is gonna just pass us by and we're all gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I said that on tour in Washington D.C. on May 12th and May 13th. The world shut down. So
all right,
I'm not on tour this time. But being in Washington D.C. and having the guy go, "Hey, how many people are you? 6. We're gonna have to separate you into 2 tables of 3." And I was just like,
whoa.
Okay, that's weird. Yes. And then they're just watching the State of the not the State of the Union, but like Trump giving his whatever speech about it. I was just like, we should go back home. But I'm not on tour this time. So fingers
That's a good
crossed.
sign. Yeah, fingers crossed. Mikey, cruising with the fam, PTO with the boys.
Yeah,
we're gonna be all right.
We'll be fine.
We'll be all right.
Bardown Breakdown 4, Breakfest 4 is what we're doing. What we're aiming for.
United States of America. We're doing.
You heard it here first.
Dude, they got to be cheap, right? Like, how much you think it is to rent that place out?
They used to do Battle of the Bands there, so like it's definitely a thing. We can make
Robbie, we played the Battle of the Bands together, right?
Yeah, I joined IO 94 and then we won that Battle of the Bands. So it was like,
yeah, okay.
Oh, that should be in your
I don't even
bio,
remember
bro.
what we
That's a
won.
flex.
Dude, tickets. Definitely tickets. You won tickets for the prize thing.
I never saw him.
He's got a Coors Light Stratocaster.
Free washable hair dye for life.
A mustache comb to go with his mustache.
Didn't that place have a mascot?
Oh, yeah, the dinosaur. What was his name?
Of course, the dinosaur.
Scatosaurus. Scatosaurus. The guy who used to be in the Scatosaurus costume used to live. Shout out to Harry Bodine. He lived like across the street from me, like on an angle. I mean, him and I never talked, so me name dropping him is psychotic. But like,
yo, I know the mascot.
like,
I know.
I don't know him, but I knew he was Scatosaurus. It was a big deal.
Can you start like a rumor that like Scatosaurus is like voiced by some pop punk legend, like Chuck E. Cheese is the Boiling for Soup guy? Like we're just like
it's
Vinny
Adam
Caruana is the voice
Pending
of
is the
Scatosaurus. Yeah, it's like I don't know, like Jesse Lacey's just dressed up as Scatosaurus, just like trying to renew his brand new career.
No, that would be a bad move. Keep him away from the United States
Keep
of
him
America.
away from the kids at the skate park.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It says Adam Lazara. Just put him in there. John Nolan, just some weird emo legend.
Dude, if they still have that mascot in 2026, like that's got to be the set. Like, imagine it's the same dude who's like still the mascot.
Forget the same dude. It's definitely the same suit, and it's never been washed.
Oh my god!
It smells like Parliaments, and just
no, it smells like the Subway that was right next door to it. It smells like Italian urban cheese bread.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I'm trying to find pictures
this.
of Scatosaurus now.
I think you had it right with like Joe from Patent Pending.
Joe from Patent.
He would be a great Scatosaurus.
Yeah, when he comes home from writing for Jelly Roll, he just gets back in the costume.
Dude, I literally just told someone that yesterday because we were talking about Long Island and like how some people have gone on to do some pretty crazy things, and like obviously everyone talks about Dan from As Tall as Lions, but like
yeah.
Dude, yeah, the Patent Pending brothers are literally writing Jelly Roll music. It's just freaking crazy.
It's insane.
Jeff Rosenstock.
Yeah.
What
show is he? He's doing.
He did Craig of the Creek on Cartoon Network. He did all the music from that. Great show.
I didn't know that. That's so sick.
Yeah.
You can tell when you listen to the theme song. You're like, oh, that makes sense. Like I mean, dead seriously. And there's a bunch of music in the show, and you're like, oh yeah. I hear it. It's like very sort of specific in like the coolest way possible. Yeah.
All right. So we asked this question last week, and I just now want to ask it on every interview because Long Island is home to many bands. And do you guys know the term bands?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite or your go-to like Long Island band?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Long Island band. I mean, our band's band isn't like from Long Island or a band from like bands that are on Long Island's their band. Like our band's band is Me Without You.
Like your favorite band's band, or your as a band, who's your favorite Long Island band that probably didn't hit the mainstream?
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh. That dudes and bands also like really
Mikey's is As Tall as Lions.
That would be mine. That would be mine.
Mine was Nightmare of You.
Oh fuck, Nightmare of You.
Yeah.
But As Tall as Lions, like, yeah, that band is. Yeah.
That band was incredible.
Yeah. Wow. Now I'm just like having a moment of silence in my head. Damn, that sucks. Yeah.
It's just so cool. Like,
I don't know.
I get to brag every once in a while to like people that really don't give a shit. Like they really don't care. But I'm like, yeah, like, you know, my buddy was the tour manager for As Tall as Lions. And like now the dude's a Grammy Award winning producer. And they're like, yeah, who? And I was like, yeah, like the guy that basically wrote all of Olivia Rodrigo's music. Like,
and Chappell Roan's.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Our friend was. Yeah, like our buddy was legit their tour manager. And then like even the Deer Park Connection, Dana Collins was in As Tall as Lions. Like it's crazy to think that shit happened. Like,
wasn't it your buddy from the Buddy System?
Yeah, from the Buddy
System, right?
Yeah, that's the best phrase ever. Your buddy from the buddy system.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any band's favorite band, but the Buddy System was definitely my favorite band. Like that band that you look up to, and probably like never reach the level of like a Brand New or something. I feel like Brand New is another band that like we collectively has like been like a huge influence on us. But yeah, dude, when I got to see the Buddy System play at the Tom Vicario show at AMH a couple of years ago, that was just like such an incredibly like beautiful life experience. Like I thought I would never get to see them play together again. It was like my like 13-year-old self was like freaking the fuck out, like watching them play these shows that these songs that I heard, like that like really like made it real that you could just be a dude in your hometown and like have a band and it was good. And like I still listen to them pretty regularly.
Amen.
Fucking
what
Buddy
about
System.
you, Michael?
I think mine is gonna be Nightmare of You. Was like one of the first bands. I'm torn about my answer because I want to say Nightmare of You, but I also want to say The Sleeping was a huge influence on me. I remember when I think I was like 16 years old, and The Sleeping had just come home from like a long tour, and a bunch of the members posted on like MySpace bulletins, and they were like, we're home for X number of weeks. And Joe's giving drum lessons, Cameron's giving guitar lessons, Sal's doing bass lessons, and I was just so obsessed with this idea of getting drum lessons from like one of my favorite bands at the time. It was genuinely like I messaged them so quickly, and it was one of the coolest things my parents have like ever done for me, was like pay Joe Zizzo $60 an hour to give me drum, like him walking into my basement as like a 15, 16-year-old, like my world just like completely changed. It was like one of the coolest things ever. My first answer was going to be Nightmare of You, and now I'm quickly shifting it to The Sleeping.
Which is also so funny that now like you're in a band who literally like had a member play with The Sleeping on tour.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They also played in my basement.
That's awesome.
Through that connection of like getting drum lessons, I built a relationship with Joe and some of the members of the band. And I remember this, Robbie, this had to have been like, I don't know, 2010. I want to say it was like right before, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the record, but it was like Bomb the World was on it. It was like the first record where they had the organ player. And they wanted to like just audition some songs. So I threw like a house show. Like my parents were like on vacation. So I was like, sick. I'm going to put a show together with a bunch of my friends. So there was like, I don't know, like 30, 40 people in my parents' basement. And then The Sleeping did like a secret show in my basement. It was dope.
Was it What It Takes?
Yes. Yeah.
That's an unreal story.
Sick. We played that and I was like, damn, we're playing with The Sleeping tonight. It's so dope.
It was one of my claim to fame. Yeah, I peaked.
I got to give a shout out to Sainthood Reps one more time too, as a maybe band's favorite band. They're up there.
Amen. I love it. Well, boys, this was a lot of fun. We had it. We went off the rails, but I love it. And
we would have with Tom too.
Oh, it would have been so much worse.
It would have definitely been worse. Yeah. Bum T couldn't be here for this, but maybe for the best in some ways. We should do this again with Tom.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This would be so much fun.
Thank you guys so much. This was really great.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
%. And when you guys hit that multi-state tour and you're ready to promote it, hit us up. We'll get you back on. But always fun chatting with friends and old friends that I haven't seen in a long time. So appreciate you guys spending your Friday night with us. I already admitted that I haven't been keeping track of the Knicks, but hopefully the Knicks stick around and bring the ship back to New York.
Fingers crossed.
And hopefully
Bing
the
bong.
Flyers get swept.
Oh man, yeah, Mikey, such a pleasure to see you, dude. It's been a minute, and Justin's really nice meeting
Nice
you.
to
Thanks
meet
for
you,
having us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Later. Peace.